Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is the Thursday night preview show ahead of the 2022 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Who we got in the chat? It's Chris, Ernesto. How are we doing, lads? This is a 3-part show. We've got news, rundown and then predictions. Before I jump into it though, if you are a fan of Formula 1, please do consider subscribing because I will be live for every single practice session, qualifying session and race in the 2022 Formula 1 World Championship. So as you can see, we've got 3 segments. I'll jump into the news now, then we're going to go through a rundown of every team, all the form book, everything, all the results so far this season from the first 3 races, and then the final part of the show will be my predictions in the top 10. How are we doing? Yes, Tax. Yes, Josh. Welcome in. So, first things first, the news. The big news today was Carlos Sainz has signed a further 2-year deal with Ferrari. So Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc will be Ferrari drivers for the next 3 years at least, 22, 23 and 24. So Sainz now has signed up with Ferrari long term. So this is great for Ferrari. Just got another picture. So this is now the Ferrari dream team. Leclerc there on the right, Mattia Binotto, the team principal in the middle, who's been at the helm for probably 2 or 3 years himself now, and Carlos Sainz. So that is the dream team, the Italian team, Ferrari heading into the next few years, not just this year, but heading into the future. So that is the big news. Carlos Sainz, obviously he's had a rocky start to the season. Obviously not had the kind of season. The start to the season that he'd wanted to, like his teammates just running away with it at the moment. But yeah, Sainz staying with Ferrari long term is great for him, great for his career, great for all parties, to be honest, and something we expected. And his hair gets stuck in the wind. What, me? Yeah. Oh no, him in the middle. Yeah, him, bloody Mattia Binotto. Yeah, bloody Harry Potter, isn't he? So that is the Ferrari dream team. And a couple of other little bits of news. Alpine coming with upgrades. Apparently Alpine coming with a brand new floor. The floor's the most important thing with this year's cars. Mercedes obviously coming with upgrades as well. But Alpine bringing a big one. And you'll see in my predictions, I think Alpine are going to be a bit of a dark horse. Not only this weekend, but for the rest of the season. So that's Alpine. We also got, a couple of hours ago actually, the F1 2022 game was announced. So that's coming out July 1st, so I'll be getting on that. You better be damn sure I'm on that 1st of July. I'll probably do a series on air, create my own team and stuff. We'll do a series on air. And I know it's not a gaming channel, but well, we'll do it. We've got a few screenshots. They're going to do like VR and stuff. I've not got VR or anything, but you best believe I'll be on that July 1st. And it's made by EA and Codemasters together. So that is going to be, I would imagine that is going to be a sick game, that. So that's July 1st, the new F1 game. And what else we got? Oh yeah, Miami. So Miami Grand Prix is their first time they're ever going to host a Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time, and they are cutting it fine for getting ready. There was an article today that said they're 95% ready for the Grand Prix. It's in 2 weeks. They are cutting it fine for being ready for this Grand Prix, but it's going to be mega. Yeah, the first ever Miami Grand Prix. What we're saying, can't play VR. Yeah, no, I haven't got VR, Chris. No, I won't bother with that. But definitely getting the game. Another little picture in Miami, so you can see like it's nearly ready, but it's not quite ready yet. And they better hurry up. It's in 2 weeks. They've not even painted the curbs. The tarmac's still raw, mate. Cutting it fine on Miami. Now, what I did want to talk about today was this weekend is F1. It's the first one of the season. They're going to do a sprint race. Now, they trialled this last year, I think, at 3 races. they're doing 3 sprint races this year as well. So what is a sprint race? I thought I'd just go into it a little bit. So F1 sprint, what is it? So there will be 3 sprint races this year. They're held on a Saturday. The 3 sprint races will be at Imola this weekend is the first one. And there'll be one in Austria, which is like round 9, round 10, something like that. And in Brazil, which is at the end of the year, that's like round 22 or something. So one at the beginning of the year, one at the middle, one in the middle of the year, and one at the end of the year. And they're held on a Saturday. And what they are, 1/3 Grand Prix distances. So for Imola, it's a 21-lap race, basically. It takes place on Saturday. So what will happen is, when it's a sprint weekend, they'll put the qualifying on the Friday, which is what's happening this weekend. The qualifying will be on the Friday. Then they'll have a sprint race on the Saturday. And the results of the sprint race on the Saturday afternoon set the grid for the full Grand Prix on the Sunday. So effectively, you've got a qualifying on the Friday, sprint race on the Saturday, and the full Grand Prix on the Sunday. So you get 3 days of full action, I suppose, and 2 races. So a short race and a... Yes, Brownie, how we doing? Good old-fashioned tracks, yeah. They are. So yeah, Brazil hosted the sprint last year, but yeah, and the all new point system for the sprint races. So as last year, the sprint races, you only got 3 points for winning it, 2 points for second, and a point for third. Now you're getting points all the way down to 8. So the sprint race is becoming... It's more decisive. It means more to win the sprint race and getting 8 points. You know, you're getting a chunk of points. You're not just getting 1 or 2 points. You're getting a chunk of points. So that's that. What else? Oh yeah, just a few things on Imola. I just wanted to do a little piece. Just talk about the circuit, every single track we go to, just for 30 seconds. And Imola. Imola is, like Brownie said, it is one of those historic Grand Prix. Just see tax. Have you seen that F1 Manager? Yeah, F1 Manager. I'll be getting on that as well. We do still series an F1 Manager as well. Yeah. How we doing, Farhan? So yeah, Imola is a historic. It is known. Great times like Schumacher and Alonso battling in 2005, 2006, and it's also known tragedy. Imola is best known for the tragic death of Roland Ratzenberger and the great Ayrton Senna. That was in 1994. Now, they stopped racing at Imola in 2006, and then due to the pandemic a couple of years ago and races cancelling all over the world, because they just stayed in Europe for the most of 2020, Imola nominated itself and said, we'll do a race, because it's pandemic, no races cancelling left, right and centre. Imola got reintroduced to the calendar for the first time in like 15 years, and now they've signed a long-term contract, so Imola's back for the long term. But it has known tragedy, Imola, and it has known great moments. It is a very historic circuit with a lot of somber memories. So let's now move on. It's going to be rain tomorrow. We'll just have a little bit of a weather update now, lads. Yeah, those deaths were a day apart. They were. Roland Ratzenberger died on the Saturday in the qualifying, and Senna died in the race. Horrendous. Probably the worst weekend of the sport, that. I was only 2 years old, something like that. So it's sort of before my time, but horrendous day. But yeah, we're looking at with qualifying being on the Friday this weekend, because you got the sprint race on the Saturday, we might get a wet qualifying. So I have adjusted my predictions to account for that, because we might just see a little bit of an upset and a little bit of people displaced. I also saw that there might be a chance for a shower on Sunday, but we'll see about that. So I just wanted to go over what this channel is going to be now. I've been doing this a few weeks, and I've sort of now sort of realised how I'm going to do this channel. And this is basically an outline. My content will come in blocks of 8, I've decided. So for every Grand Prix weekend, there will be 8 pieces of content. Then there might be a 10-day gap before the next race, but there will be blocks of 8. So this is how it's going to work. So on Thursday, you get the preview show, which you're watching now. Then Friday, I'm going to be live for the practice sessions, but it's going to be a chilled one. I'm going to do it on StreamYard. People can click the link, come in and join me. We can talk about Formula One. It's just going to be chilled. I'm just going to be sat here. You can't really do commentary. It's just going to be a chilled out vibe, but it gets more content out there. It might catch a new pair of eyes to the channel. So we'll do practice sessions. Then on the Saturday, it'll be practice 3 again. Same thing on StreamYard. Jump in. The link will be there. You can jump in, talk about Formula One. Then bang, qualifying will be the proper setup like this. Well, I'll have the proper scenery and everything, all the graphics and the proper commentary. The proper commentary will be on the qualifying on the Saturday and the full Grand Prix on the Sunday. So we're up to about 6 bits of content there. Then on the Monday, I'll do a driver rating show, 7 p.m. every Monday following a Grand Prix, and then finally just a little highlights video will come out on the Tuesday. So that is how this channel's going to work. It's going to be blocks of 8 bits of content, and I feel like that's more than enough, because when I started a month ago, it was just literally going live for the race. And if I just do 20, like say there's 23 races, if I do 23 streams in a year, I'm going to get one or 2 subs in a year. So we've got it. So with blocks of 8 pieces of content, we're going to be moving forward. The Murray Walker commentary will be the Saturday qualifying and the Sunday Grand Prix. The rest of it's just a chilled out casual. The practice sessions, people can join, we can have a chat, whatever. So that is the news. So bearing that in mind, this is the schedule for this weekend. So this is my schedule for this weekend. So tomorrow, I'm doing practice 1. It'll be a StreamYard thing. I'm calling it chat and chill practice. Then there'll be qualifying. Because it's a sprint weekend, the qualifying's on the Friday afternoon. So then, bang, qualifying. Join me at 10 to 4 for that. Starts at 4 till 5. Then Saturday, bang, practice 2. Be live for that. Of course I am. You know what I mean? Live for everything now. Live for every session. Not just the race. Everything. The full works. Practice 2. Then bang, sprint race. 20 past 3. Starts at 3:30. And then on the Sunday, join me at 10 to 2 for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola, starting at 2 o'clock. So we're in 10 minutes before, get our bearings, get the full Murray Walker mode going, and then we'll be on it. So that is the schedule this weekend. So join me for as many of those as you can. Now, so that's the first segment of the show done. That's the news. Let's now go through it team by team. Yeah, I tell you what, no one's done as much work on a YouTube video for 10 views as me. I'll tell you that for a fact. Nobody's worked on a setup for 10 views, put as much work in for hardly any views as this person right here. Fact. So let's go through all the teams. We've got Aston Martin, 10th, 0 points. Look at this. Look at this start to the season by Aston Martin. Sebastian Vettel didn't start the first 2 races, and doesn't finish the Australian Grand Prix, crashes. Man's a 4-time world champion. Sebastian Vettel's a 4-time world champion. He won back-to-back titles in 2010, 11, 12 and 13. Mate, he's going to be thinking about things beyond this sport. He's going to be thinking, is this really for me? I'm in the worst car. I'm in the worst form of my life. It's just a disaster at the minute. I just hope, he'll be hoping just to get across the finish line, I'll tell you now. If he gets across the finish line, that's a win. At least this season's got to get off to some kind of start, because at the moment it's not even started. Stroll's been a little bit unlucky. Look at those results. Bahrain 12th, Saudi Arabia 13th, Australia 12th. Just dangling outside the points. He's not managed to get off the mark yet. And so Aston Martin languished in 10th at the minute. Right, let's now move on to currently 9th placed Williams. Here we go then. What have we got in terms of results with Williams? Nicholas Latifi has not had a good start to the season. A 16th, a DNF and a 16th. Nicholas Latifi needs to pick it up quick time, because he's starting to get exposed now. He's had a quiet couple of years, Nicholas Latifi, in this sport. And he's starting to show, is he quite up for it? Is he quite at that elite standard that you need to be to have a fully fledged career in Formula One? You need to be elite. Remember, these are supposed to be the best 20 drivers in the world. Is Nicholas Latifi in that category? Maybe not. Alexander Albon, on the other hand, had a fantastic Australian Grand Prix, pitting on the final lap and scraping a point in 10th in what probably is the worst car. I mean, the Aston Martin, they've had a shocking start to the season, but the Williams is probably the worst. So to get a P10, fantastic for Alexander Albon. All the best to him. And hope he can kick on from there. That might be the only point he gets all season. The point in Australia might be the only point he gets all season, but at least he's got a point. What a strategy from Williams to pull that off. I think he did 56 laps on one set of tyres. So fair play, Alex Albon. We now move to 8th placed Alfa Tauri. They've not had a great start to the season, and I tell you what, it's a surprise, because last year Alfa Tauri were good. I think they were like the 4th fastest team. A lot of races last year. Pierre Gasly and Alfa Tauri were the 4th fastest team. They were rapid. Gasly was consistently finishing in the top 6 last year. And this year it's been, I hate to say it, but it's been anonymous. And anonymous is the worst thing to be in Formula One. I would rather be crashing at every other race and cause a drama and cause a bit of chaos and cause controversy rather than be anonymous. Anonymous is how you get kicked out. And Alfa Tauri has been anonymous. Gasly didn't finish the first race, and then he's picked up the odd point. He's had an 8th in Saudi Arabia, 9th in Australia. Yuki picked up a great 8th place in Bahrain. I think he collided in Saudi Arabia with Stroll, was it? And Australia 15th. So they need to really now start the season properly. They've not had the best start. On the other hand, Haas, who are currently 7th in the constructors, they should be even higher in constructors. They should be even higher up than 7th in constructors. Look at Magnussen's results there on the left-hand side. Bahrain 5th, Saudi Arabia 9th, Australia 14th. Now he'll be hoping that it was Australia that was the unusual result, and he'll get points. That's what he'll be hoping. Not that Bahrain was the odd one out, and then every other race is going to be 12th and 15th and 10th and stuff like that. So where are Haas? This is a big race for Haas. Where are they? Because you see Mick Schumacher there on the edge of the points. He needs a point. Come on, Mick. Please, Mick, get a point. I don't think he's got a point in F1 yet. Because last year, the Haas was horrendous. This year, is it good? Is it mid-pack? It's hard to tell. We need more races. But Kevin Magnussen, what a return. He didn't even know he was racing 3 weeks before the season started. Now we come to 6th place at the moment. Early days, obviously. Early days for all of this. It's Alfa Romeo. Look at Guan Yu Zhou on the edge of the points. He's had a 10th and 2 11th places. 11th place is a horrible place to finish. It's like finishing 4th in the Olympics. It's like close, but you get nothing for 11th. And but Bottas, when he's finished, he had a DNF in Saudi Arabia. I remember there was no explanation for that. He was just wheeled back into the garage at some point. I don't know what kind of issue he had. But when he finishes the races, look at that, 6th and 8th. Alfa Romeo are quick, man. If they can get both cars in the points, they could finish higher than 6th in Constructors. They could get in the top 5. So great starts to the season, especially compared. They're one of the biggest improvers, especially compared with last year. Haas and Alfa Romeo, big improvers from last year. And Ferrari. And what have all those 3 cars got in common? They're all running the Ferrari engine. The Ferrari engine seems to be vastly improved. Another team that's had a great start, especially on the Esteban Ocon side of things, is Alpine. They're also bringing a big update this race, brand new floor. You'll see what I've predicted for this guy, but I think it's going to be a good weekend for Alpine. Alonso's been very unlucky. Alonso could have been like on the front row of the grid in Australia. I think he was fastest of anybody in the first sector in qualifying, and then he crashed at the end of the lap and messed it up, and the car, the hydraulics went as some problem, and he was so unlucky. And then with the tyres, they got the strategy wrong, and he was left on the medium compounds for too long and ended up finishing, I think, dead last. Yeah, Australia 17th for Alonso. It was pretty much dead last. The other 3 cars didn't finish. And that's not because he's lost the pace. That's because of poor strategies and poor decisions. Alpine are going to come good. So they're currently 5th with 22 points. 4th is McLaren. Now, who would have said that after the first race in Bahrain? Look at the results in Bahrain, 15th and 14th. But look at Australia, 5th and 6th they were. So massive improvement for McLaren from round 1 to round 3. It's really hard to place. The same with Haas. Where do you place Haas? Where do you place McLaren? You know, they come on leaps and bounds. Honestly, I remember saying that after the first race. I remember saying, what a shocker. I remember saying they've been on an upward trajectory for 5 or 6 years. And I remember saying they've gone back to the beginning. They've gone the slowest team. But in Australia, they proved that's not the case. They have proved that they're up for it. McLaren are quick, man. McLaren are quick. Then we come to 3rd in Constructors. Oh, these guys should be leading the damn thing. 3rd in Constructors with 55 points. It's Red Bull. And look at that Max Verstappen there. Look at Verstappen's results there. DNF first. DNF. You don't DNF 2 out of the first 3 races and win a championship. He's already a long way back. He's 6th. Look, he's 6th in the championship. He's got 25 points. I think the clerk's cruising on 71 points. So what is he? 40 odd 50 points behind. I tell you what, it's a long road back. And I mean, he's got, what's he got? 19 races, 18 races. So he needs to start scoring big points. And he needs some bad luck with Ferrari as well to catch this up. What a disastrous start to the season, really. Perez, on the other hand, DNF the first race. They both DNF'd in Bahrain. A horrendous start. And then should have won in Saudi Arabia. Had the pole position in Saudi Arabia. And things just got away from him. Should have won that race. 2nd in Australia. So he's doing all right. He's 4th in the championship, 30 points. But now we move on to a team that's supposedly really struggling. But they're not struggling that much, because the 2nd in Constructors, Mercedes. Look at Russell's consistency. 4th, 5th and 3rd in the first 3 races. In probably the worst Mercedes since 2013. So they have made the most out of the starts of the season. Whilst other teams have floundered and people have had reliability issues, this, that and the other, Mercedes have pounced and they've got the absolute maximum amount of points they could do at this point of the season. To be sat on 65 points in second place, you know, and for Russell to be second in the championship's unbelievable. When you look at the pace compared with Ferrari and Red Bull, how Russell's second in the championship is outstanding, and what a start he's had. Really, if Mercedes can get the upgrades now, if they can be quick now, then there's enough time to save it. There's enough time, but as the races as the races keep going by, before you know it, you'll be at round 8, round 9, round 10. Leclerc's gone. The championships have gone. So they need to be on the pace now in Imola this weekend. If they're not on the pace now, and I doubt they will, because they've got to find 7/10 of a second or, you know, a lap, and unless they come out with a miracle shot, bang, 7/10 of a second, it's not looking great. But they've made the most of it. But are they going to beat these guys this year? Look at Leclerc's start to the season. 2 wins and a second place. That is how championships are built. Bahrain wins. Saudi Arabia, after a fight tooth and nail in the last 8 laps with Verstappen, comes second. Australia, bang, wins again. 71 points. 104 points in the constructors after 3 races. These guys are looking good. Carlos Sainz just signed a brand new contract, so this is the Ferrari team for this year and 2 more years beyond, and they're looking strong. I mean, Carlos Sainz had a mess of a race in Australia, but let's see what I've predicted for him coming into Imola. So that's a little rundown. We now jump into the final part of the show. My predictions, the Madman predictions, because you best believe I'm not predicting Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, Mercedes 5-6, McLaren 7-8. That's too easy, it's too boring, mate. I'm not boring. So how are we starting off? We're starting off Guan Yu Zhou P10. He's had a P10 and 2 P11s. I reckon he scraped back in the points in P10, Guan Yu Zhou. We have got Kevin Magnussen P9. I think for Haas, he gets back in the points in that Haas this weekend. A little bit of rain in quali. Couple of drivers in positions they shouldn't be. Magnussen takes full advantage, gets a couple of points. Bang, Alonso P8 I'm going for. Fernando Alonso, I'm saying P8. He gets a handful of points, but he won't get as many points as his teammate's going to get, I'm saying. We're going to have Pierre Gasly P7. Handful of points for Pierre Gasly. He's had a sort of anonymous start to the season. He's going to start bagging some serious points going into Imola. I've got Bottas P6. That Alfa Romeo's quick. I think when Bottas has finished a race, I think he's been 6th and 8th. I'm predicting another 6th place for Valtteri Bottas. Now we're getting to the serious positions. I've got Lando Norris P5 for McLaren. Do you know Lando Norris virtually got a pole position here last year? I've got a cheeky little feeling that Lando Norris is rapid round here. And I think he's going to take full advantage and get a top 5 position this weekend. I think he's rapid round here. We're going to have Russell continuing to show that consistency. I think he's had a 5th, a 4th and a 6th, or 6th, a 4th and something like that. I'm saying he carries on with that in that vein, gets a 4th. But who gets a cheeky podium? Esteban Ocon. I'm calling it now. These are madman predictions. I'm not gonna go boring and safe. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna predict DNFs. You see, I'm not gonna say everyone's finishing because there's a few names on this list that are gonna be gone. And where are they? They're in the wall because it rains. Up there for thinking. I'm predicting DNFs. I'm going for Verstappen second, and who is gonna win? First ever Grand Prix victory for Carlos Sainz, and I'm saying he wins it from pole. So where's Leclerc? Where's Perez? Where's Hamilton? Where's Ricciardo? DNF. I'm saying Leclerc's luck runs out, and I'm going to predict a little bit of contact. I'm going to say Perez crashes into Leclerc and neither of them finish. And Leclerc's luck runs out and Sainz wins from Verstappen. I'm saying Mercedes' luck runs out as well. Hamilton and Russell have had a clean run at it so far. Absolutely problem free. But I think their luck's going to run out and Hamilton isn't going to finish either. So I've gone Sainz clutching his first ever win, Verstappen second, and a cheeky Esteban Ocon podium. So that's my predictions. That pretty much wraps up the show. Half an hour, that's what I thought. Half an hour show. Just before I go, just go back on the schedule. So this is it this weekend then. Join me tomorrow, 12:30, for practice 1. Ahead of qualifying at 4 o'clock. So I'll be live at 10 to 4 for qualifying. And then a practice session and a sprint race on the Saturday. Join me for that. That'll be at 3:30, the sprint race. So I'll be live at 3:20. And then the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at 2 p.m. on Sunday. So that's it. That is the Thursday night preview show done for Imola. But we've got more to come this weekend. It's Grand Prix weekend, it's F1 weekend, it's race week. And I'm buzzing for it. Cheers, Ernesto. Thank you, everybody. Let's get this channel off the ground, guys. Drop me a like. Let's get this channel off the ground. Come on. Let's get this channel boom. Because one day this channel's going to go boom through the wall. And you're here seeing it on day 1, day 0, day nothing. But we're going to go big on the thing. So drop me a like. I need any interaction I can get. Any comment, any interaction, anything. Because we're going big. That being said, I will see you all tomorrow. And the next day. And the next day after that. Because we're on it. When there's a Grand Prix on, I'm on. Think of it that way. Nice one, guys. See you later.